tuendelee, ningependa niseme happy Mother's Day kwa mama wote mlio hapa, mlio nyumbani, mnaotuona, wote tunawatakia siku njema ya kusherekea nyinyi kama akina mama. Mungu aweze kuwabariki na kuwainua. So ningependa niwakaribishe leo kwa sababu kwa somo ama mafunzo yetu siku ya leo tunaposherekea akina mama. Na siku ya leo we'll be learning a little bit on how to celebrate our mothers. For a long time, I know we've been told, women are often told this is how they need to do during Mother's Day. But on this day, I'm taking a different way, which I'm focusing on those that you have a mother, on how you ought to celebrate your mom. So there's a little story of a young boy in a Sunday school. He went to Sunday school and they were doing a presentation, and he stood in front of the church. And as he was trying to recite whatever he had learned, he found out that he had forgotten it. And for him, the mom was sitting in front of the row of the church. And what happened was that the mom looked at the young boy and realized her son had forgotten the sentence that she wanted to say. And the mom tried to make voices that would assist the young man to remember what she was saying. But he couldn't. And so the mom leaned forward and said this: "I am the light of the world." And the young man said, smiling and ready and thinking that he got it right, stood back and said, "My mom is the light of the world." Today is a special occasion where all of us step back and celebrate that special person who brought us to this world, our mothers. And someone said, motherhood is one of the most fundamental role God given by God and knitted closely to our DNA. So the first day of Mother's Day occurred 115 years ago when it was made official US holiday in 1914. This day is attributed so much to a lady by the name Ann Jarvis. Ann Jarvis grew, and her mom wanted to have Mother's Day, and her mom tried so much to call upon the leaders to have a special day that they would focus and celebrate mothers. But it didn't happen because in 1905 she passed away, and 3 years later Ann Jarvis stood back and said, "It's time to celebrate our mothers." She started by celebrating herself, and also she moved in to call upon people who could do the same. But it took around more than around 6 years for the government to make it an official day in 1914. So this is a special day. And what am I going to share today as a church as we celebrate? We've got a little bit of influence from Ann Jarvis because of this special day. But more importantly, we are influenced by biblical women, mothers, who had great influence in their children, in their families, and the society at large. And I believe today we are going to learn more as we open God's Word to learn on special ways on how we can celebrate these special people God gave to us. And by the way, did you know that more phone calls are made on Mother's Day than any other day of the year? It is believed that this holiday, chats with moms, often causes phone traffic that spikes more than 37%. So this is a special day. It's not just another day. It's a special day that we celebrate our mom. So this morning, we will be seeing biblical ways I believe will shape how we celebrate our mothers today and every other day. So I've got about 3 things that I'll be sharing this morning, and I believe all of us will go out today. Maybe your mom is not around here today, maybe your mom is back in Kenya, maybe your mom is back in another country, but I believe we can all step back today and celebrate our mothers based on these 3 things I'll share. Point number 1. I'm saying you celebrate by your mom by loving her more. So for a long time, moms have been told, love your children so much. But on this day, I believe for us today, the Lord has been casted and it fell on us as children. And we call upon to love those moms that showed us love when we were very young. They poured their love to us while we ourselves couldn't even understand. So we are called upon to love them more than we have done before. And I'm drawing this point from the story of Jesus himself. And allow me to take you to the book of John 19, verses 26. So please, if you could open the book of John 19, John 19, verses 26. And I'm reading from the NIV version. This is what the Bible says. When Jesus saw his mother there, and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to her, "Woman, here is your son." So right in the presence of the multitude, Jesus clearly declared to the world and his followers his love and affection to his mother. So he made it known to her that, and the listeners, that although he was going to be to die, she will still be cared for by his friend, the disciple he loved, John. And if you look very closely in the next verse, number 27, this is what the Bible says. And to the disciple, he said, "Here is your mother." From that time on, this disciple took her into his home. So despite the love and care that Jesus had for humanity, he still cared for his mom, because that was his mom. He was a son to her, and for him, he needed to care so much for his mom, even though he was going to be gone. So still, in his childhood, you can learn this. His mom nursed him. He cared for him. He taught him how to speak. And for Jesus, even though he was going to die, he still valued his mother. So today is Mother's Day. It would be very, very important and wonderful for us that we would publicly share and acknowledge the love that we have to our mom. Jesus, in the presence of multitude, stood and said, "This is my mother." Now, he loved her so much. And often some of us might be hiding our mama. We don't want to talk about our mamas, we pretend as if she's not in. And you might have not even introduced her to your friends. But my brother and my sister, I want to call upon you today that your mom is a special person. No matter what happens, no matter how she looks like, huyo ni mama wako. Ni mama wako na unastahili kumpenda sana. Love her more than anything else. Because she bore you, alikuzaa. Na ni vyema uweze kumpenda zaidi ya yote. Jesus Christ loved us. And I believe for us today, that love that Jesus gave to us, if we love the Lord, we will still care and love for our parents. It's unfortunately sad that most people have forgotten their parents. Kuna wengine ambao washughuliki na wazazi wao, pengine kimavazi, pengine vyakula. You don't even make a phone call to them. You might have had bad times with them. Pengine hamjasikizana vizuri. But mimi ni ombi langu la kwamba siku ya leo tutakumbuka ya kwamba mama ni wa maana. We can share that love to our mother. I remember one day, just telling a story about myself. Years ago, there was a time that something happened. And I remember we were ready to make a baptism of our church members. And we were clearing the pool where we would do the baptism. And somebody called me and said, "Are you Zach?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I think your mom needs you more right now." Because my mom was away. He said, "You better travel pretty fast." And said, "Your mom is almost equivalent to your God. Because she nursed you. You need to love her more." And somebody said, as you remember this, your mom is worth millions. And I remember this, somebody said these words, allow me to quote, "Since this priceless gift God gave us must from us one day depart, lavish her with love and kindness. Real, true love with all your heart." So this is what you need to do to your mom. Remember, one day your mom will be gone. Don't wait, and when she is gone, you will decide and say, I wish I had done this for my mother. Do it right now. Love is that love, kindness, the real true love that pours it from your heart to her. Point number 2, how we are going to celebrate our mothers today. It's not only by us loving them more, but number 2, we live out their faith. Live out her faith. So children are often influenced by their parents. They pattern us, they influence us, and often we want to copy them. We want to be like our moms. We want to walk like them. And for the men, they want to borrow someone and marry someone like their mother. And I believe today, for us today, we can live out their faith because they influence us. The joy of every parent is seeing their children in the same pattern they themselves desire them to go by. So when Apostle Paul was mentoring Timothy, he called upon him to walk and live out the faith he had witnessed in his mom and the grandmother. And allow me to read 2 Timothy 1 verses 5 to 6. So please, if you can read this with me from the book of 2 Timothy, chapter number 1, verse number 5 to verse number 6. This is what the Bible says. I'm reading also from NIV. I remember your genuine faith from you, for you share the faith that first filled your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice. And I know that the same faith continues strong in you. This way, I will remind you to fan in the flame, the spiritual gift God has given you when I laid hands on you. So Paul is telling Timothy to strive to follow that faith that first lived in his grandmother Lois and his mom Eunice. So what Paul is almost saying here is almost telling Timothy, I saw your mom, I saw your grandmother. And if you want to see this, the first encounter of Paul and Lois and Eunice occurred in the book of Acts, chapter number 16, verse number 1 to 3. And if you look there, you hear this story of a Jewish woman married to a Gentile man, a Greek man. But for her, Paul saw her and saw her determination and the love she had for the Lord. And this is what Paul is telling to Timothy. Live that faith. Continue. Let it be seen in you. Somebody said, Henry Bosco, the founder of Daily Bread, said, let us honor our godly mothers today, not only with words of praise, but to them, but with lives that reflect the impact they had in us. Our moms will be happier today, not by that gift more, but by them seeing you going in the same direction they wanted you to go into. It brings them joy when they will see you living a pattern they played for. And this is what Boston said, leave that pattern, continue, let her witness the influence they had in you. So having lived and witnessed Paul's, Timothy's mother and grandmother, Paul urges and calls upon Timothy and says, let that faith be seen in you. Now, as the 25th President of the United States, William Mickley had a very close relationship with his mom. So one day, when mom was sick, it's put in accounts that he used to organize at least one day, each day that he would want to visit her, or even if he couldn't, he would send a letter. So although his mother died later, the influence that she had in the lives of this President William was so tremendous that when he was shot 4 years later by an assassin, this is what he said. He had love and care, and he stood and said, God will be done. And even before he died, he stood and said, please, could you play the song, Nearer My God to Thee? Because this was the song my mom taught me. You know, this was a president of the United States of America. And he stood and remembered the impact his mom had in him. He remembered and said, the best way I could appreciate my mom is by living out what she taught me. There's somebody that I know, she normally loves a song in the car engine because it's a favorite song of their moms. And the mom is gone, but for them, this song still reminds them and brings them to that opportunity they would reflect it and for their mom to see. So on this special day, as you celebrate your mom, I want to call upon you that you demonstrate that Christian influence they had in you. Let them see it. Let them have a taste of what they had in you. So let people see your mom in you. You know, I desire so much that when you walk, when you speak, people say, inakaa mama yake anazungumza ndani yake. Because they made an influence in you and you are bringing it out. So, my brother and sister, mirror your mom today. Let our influence be seen in you because that's what pleases the Lord. Abraham Lincoln said, no man is poor who had a godly mother. So today, I believe you can make an influence by living out your mom's faith. Number 3, it's not only by us loving them more or living out their faith, but number 3, I'm saying you might laud her always. The word loud means honor her, respect her, live out, you know, make her proud. So our mothers are treasures given to us by God. So when you were little, you remember they nursed you, they wiped you, they loved you so much. They might have kissed you thousands and thousands and thousand times. And the reason is, even when people say, inakaa huyu mtoto anafanana namna gani, your mom will say, you are beautiful, you are handsome. Because they loved you, they honored you, they lavished you. No, they even praised you when everyone else thought you didn't or you were not worth of any praise. Listen to what King Solomon did. You know, do you know who King Solomon's mom was? It's Bathsheba. And the account of Bathsheba is almost a shameful one, you know, in the presence of the Israelites and before God. She was a woman, a wife to Uriah. And the way she got to be married by the king was not a good and a pleasant thing. But however, for King Solomon, he knew this is my mother. And listen to what King Solomon says in 1 Kings 2 verses 19. When Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak to him for Adonijah, the king stood up to meet her. And I love this. He bowed down to her and sat down on his throne. He had a throne brought for the king's mother, and she sat down at his right hand. You know, it's so special that the king, he would have said, woman, what do you want? But his son said, this is my mother. And he gives her an opportunity and says, you come. And I'm pleased because of the first thing he does. He bows down and says, you know, mom, you are here. He's almost saying, you know, mom, I honor you. I respect you, mom. The influence you had in me is what made me to who I am today. So you see, although King Solomon was king, he still honored and respected his mom. He rose and bowed down to her, and even called that a throne be brought beside his. And the reason is this, because that was his mom. He wanted to honor her. He wanted to praise her and said, Mom, you're worth millions. So she was the mom that worth thousands and thousands of millions, and even more importantly, worth to be honored. And if you look at this, no wonder King Solomon became one of the wisest and a blessed man. That all, even Christians and non-Christians, always borrows his stories because he had an influence. His mom had an influence in him. So brothers and sisters, mark this. The fountains of life and the strong confidence and the deep satisfaction does not come from us acquiring things. It comes by honoring our moms, our parents. Listen to what the Bible says. Scripture says in Exodus 20 verse 12, honor your father and mother so that you may live long with the land the Lord is going to give it to you. By honor, we get blessings. By loving our moms today, we gain more blessings from God. And I love this memory verse. We're going through the book of Ephesians as a church of Nehemiah today for a while now. And listen, I love what Paul says in Ephesians 6 verse 2. Honor your mother and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise. You know, there are many commandments, but Paul says this is the first commandment with a promise. The reason is, love your mother. Allow her more. Honor her, because she's worth that. She's the best person you could do, and honor her. So today, if you do that, it brings her joy. I love what King Solomon says in Proverbs 23, verses 22 to 25. Listen to these wise words. He says, listen to your father who gave you life, and don't despise your mom when she is old. Verse 23, get the truth and never sell it. Also get wisdom, discipline, and good judgment. Verse 24, the father of godly children asks cause for joy. What a pleasant to have children who are wise. But 25, this is what it says. So give your father and mother joy, for she who gave you birth, be happy. Make your mom today to be more and more excited. Make her to be happy. I love, that's what it says. May she who gave birth to you be happy. Make her happy today by you honoring her and even praising her in the presence of your friends. Say, this is my mom. She's worth millions. She's a special person. Love her and love her more. Number 4, and the last thing that I'm bringing to you today, lavish her with gifts. You know, I know today, many moms have been yet waiting they're anticipating for what the children will bring. What are you going to bring to your mom? And I remember early in the morning today, we were having a breakfast, and I was sharing with my wife, and said, do you remember, did we used to do Mother's Day in Kenya? And we might have not done it, because for us, it's like your mom is there every day, and you might have bring her a gift, it's good, And I'm not saying we those who don't do it right, but I believe there's an opportunity that you can step back and say, Mama, I can give you a treat today. Mama, I can take you out, and I think this is the best time that we can do it for them. So if your mom is still around, I call upon you, take her today, lavish her with all those gifts. You've worked, you've earned, share it with your mom. And do you know, the first gift that you got when you were young came from your mom. She gave you the kiss. She gave you that special cuddle. Lavish her today. Don't feel so bitter when you share something with your mom. It hurts me when I see people say, Mom, you demand too much. But do you know you demanded more than even that she could even give? Ulimsumbua mara nyingi, pengine hakulala kwa sababu alijaribu kukupatia vyote kinyangeweza. So siku ya leo, my brother and my sister, lavish your mom with gifts. Share all those that you can afford to have. I know some people might have had bad times. I once had somebody say, oh, I didn't apply you to Kunisa. I didn't apply to be born. It's your responsibility to bring me up. It's your responsibility to buy me this and that and that. True, it might be our responsibility to bring you up and raise you up. But do you know, for you to have what you have, it's not our responsibility. For you to own a good dress, it's not our responsibility. She can buy you any dress. But do you know she sacrifices, she goes miles for her to sacrifice it and give it to you. Why does it pain you today to award a woman that for a number of years has given you all that she could afford. It will bring your mom joy today and more love when you gift her. So don't feel bad to send her a gift. She is worth it. She is worth all of it. Listen to Proverbs 31. The wise man, this is what it says. Her children stand and bless her. This is a story of this woman in Proverbs 31. And the Bible records that even her children call her the blessed. They lavished her with all these blessings and say, may you bless my mom. May you award her more. And listen to what Pope Paul VI said. Every mother is like Moses. She does not enter the promised land. She prepares a world she will not see. So your mom, she might have sacrificed a lot of things. She might not get to see it. But I want to call upon you today. Please, share it with her. She sacrificed a lot for you. Please remember that she lavished lots and lots and lots of it to you. Today, let it not pain you when you share it to her. I love the way Carlos Wallace is the founder of an institution that aims and advocates for the youth. And he also is a motivational speaker and an author. This is what he says about himself as he celebrates his mom. He said, today I celebrate my mom. Strong, passionate, stubborn and proud. An educator, a wife. She was both fearless and vulnerable. Unashamed of either me. She demanded the best, especially from me. I dedicate my life to exceeding our highest expectation. This is how I honor my mom, my friend, my inspiration. In spirit, she forever guides me. Thank you, Mama, for I am never lost. You know, we are never lost. And I think it will be the best thing for you to award your mom today. So somebody says, of all the greatest things God gives, there is one above all others. It is the priceless gift of a loving Christian mom. So your mom is a gift. Gift her today. In conclusion, as you celebrate your mom today, by loving her more, by living out her faith, by lavishing her with gifts, I want to remind all of us today with this beautiful poem from Emmanuel Raphael. This is what it says. She is created from honor and glory, knitted with love and grace. She is made of joy, speaks from peace, and guides through wisdom. She is a bearer of hope and nurture of future. God's humble gifts is craftsmanship created from a marvelous work. She is called the mother. Happy Mother's Day to all women present and the moms to be. God bless you, and may you honor and celebrate your moms today, everyone. And for all the moms, we celebrate you.